Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am JayLee. This is JLeesCorner. This is our review for Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 12 Reunion Part 3. I don't know if this needed to be 3 parts. I think there could have been things taken out to make this be 2 parts, but you know it is what it is at this point. But first things first, if you have not done so already, please come on to subscribe to my channel and become a whole JayBird, dun 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 dun, and all that goodness and stuff. Censor yourself. I ain't got no jokes right now, but they should come. But they will come as they will. Let's go, okay? Again, this part of the reunion was more about getting on Kenya and her foolishness and everything, you know what I'm saying? We do know that Nene left. Okay, Nene gone, closed her laptop, you know, took her wig off, put her titties up, and walked away. We do see later on how Eva say, you know what I'm saying, Ilana put a picture up saying that, you know what I'm saying, she was about to get reunion ready or whatever, and at that same time was right before Nene left or whatnot, so somebody might have got it in her ear or whatever, and she left. So that was all coincidental, okay? So again, Nene gone or whatever, and it was what it was. Andy do say how Nene told the producers at her house, or whoever, how they need to put some respect on my name, and I'm gonna leave my laptop closed. Okay, close the laptop, close the door, close your legs, marry me, and whatever you want to say, leave it be. Okay, anyway, we start off with Cynthia and Kenya's friendship and all the pettiness of things that Kenya did over the season. You know, when Andy asked Cynthia about, you know, if she still feel like Kenya was trying to be messy or trying to ruin her proposal for Mike at that party or whatever. And Cynthia admits, you know, watching the show and not seeing the fact that Candy told her, I think he gonna propose, for Kenya to then say that to me, you know what I'm saying? I do think, you know what I'm saying, she should have just kept her mouth closed or whatever. It did look shady or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It was not Kenya's place to say anything at all. Again, I don't think Kenya was trying to ruin the proposal. I think Kenya in her own way was trying to include herself in the proposal. So after Cynthia got proposed to, I told you, girl. Did I tell you? Did it? I told Cynthia that day it was gonna happen. I think that was Kenya's attempt. It was her attempt to be included in some sort of way. And again, but she still kept her mouth closed, okay? And then they asked Kenya and Cynthia about, you know, when we seen the scene of Kenya tossing Cynthia, boop, right up under the bus when she was at the table with Tanya and Cynthia, the cookie lady, and Eva, when she said out loud that, you know, Cynthia was the one who first invited the cookie lady to a party to confront Tanya before Kenya did it at that particular brunch or whatever. Kenya then said, well, I felt like Cynthia, as my friend, should have told me that she had talked to Tanya or whatever about knowing about the cookie lady and me having that information or whatever. I'm saying she like, because Cynthia was the first one to invite the cookie lady to the event or whatever. Now, Cynthia made things look worse for herself, and she brings up how, well, first of all, I did invite her to Brooklyn's party, and I did it kind of as a joke a little bit, but I also felt like she can go to Tanya herself and tell Tanya what she had told me. Like, if you telling me this happened with whoever, like, we'll go tell Tanya. Now, and everyone, including Candy, said, Cynthia, that's worse, because you wanted her to, you know, tell Tanya at a party. Like, that's kind of crazy. And it's like, well, no, you know what I'm saying? You know, I could have called Tanya ahead of time, let her know. It's kind of like, y'all don't know what would happen or whatever. And it did still make Cynthia look bad. But, you know, when Cynthia, look, me and Tanya did not have any issues. Like, I don't have any issues with Tanya, so I wasn't doing it to hurt her at all. I can understand what she meant, meaning me inviting the girl was more like, hey, tell her yourself, versus I want you to tell Tanya this because I don't like Tanya and I want to hurt Tanya. I see what she was trying to do in her head, but that still was not what it was. And then leave it be, girl. It would have been shady as hell had you did that. But again, Cynthia did that exact same thing to Candy the first season when Candy was dating Todd. When Candy and Todd got together and Cynthia brought some lady who had said things about Todd, and Cynthia brought her to the thing and said, if don't say it to me, say it to Candy. So again, I do see how Cynthia do things and she don't see it as being shady. She don't see it as being sticky. She's like, I'm just trying to have this stuff out on the table. Cynthia, mama. But again, I still don't think Cynthia's a bad person. I still don't think Cynthia was doing it to be sneaky and conniving. I think Cynthia just is bad at planning shit. Okay, let's just say that. But Tanya agreed that, her and Cynthia don't have any issues or whatever, and she would not have had an issue if things would happen that way with Cynthia having a girl come. But with Kenya doing it, Kenya was doing it to be messy and to cause conflict. Let's just say that. Okay, now they then asked Kenya about her shade and Cynthia and her wine knowledge while they was in Greece. Now, Kenya saying, well, look, I just felt like it started off as a joke. I was joking at first, but I did not pay attention. I did not read the room, okay, to pay attention to how nervous it was making Cynthia, and I should have stopped. That's my fault, but I wasn't trying to do that. I was trying to joke. And you do see how at first it was jokingly, but as time went on, it got less and less as a joke and more of a you're like, you stabbing it right in the gut. Like, leave it be. Okay. And Cynthia admits it did start off as a joke, but it also went too far, and she just kept going with it, and it was some bullshit or whatever. They asked Cynthia, why don't you ever call Kenya out on her BS like you do Nene? But Nene not here to have any kind of rebuttal to what Cynthia said. Let's say that. Cynthia, like, I do call her out. Okay, I just don't do it, what I'm saying, in front of y'all all the time. I do it in a different way. Kenya admits, like, well, she do that. She do check me, whatever, she does it. But she don't do it in front of everybody and embarrass me. Even though Kenya will get at Cynthia in front of everybody and it will kind of embarrass Cynthia and make Cynthia look like a punk. The reason that people feel like Cynthia don't treat Kenya with the same rules of engagement or whatever that she does Nene is because the way she lets Kenya come at her. Kenya says things and does things to Cynthia that are just not nice and not fair. And Cynthia allows it to happen, so it makes it look like Cynthia being a pushover. But truth be told, she did the same thing with Nene. When Nene and Cynthia were friends, and Nene would do dumb shit, that just dumb, petty, mean, rude stuff, Cynthia will also make excuses for or just not go off on Nene or not check Nene in the moment of it all. They would have conversations off camera, whatever, that they would have that with. So, to me, in my opinion, Cynthia doing the same thing with Kenya that she used to do with Nene when her and Nene were friends. Now that her and Nene are not friends, yes, she called Nene on her bullshit. And I think if Kenya and Cynthia ever stop being friends, at that point, that may be when she'll do the same thing to Kenya. Okay, but if you think about it, every time Nene did something dumb, they kept saying, oh my God, Cynthia is Nene's lapdog because, she never, put Nene in her place because she wouldn't do it on camera. Now she do the same thing with Kenya. But I digress. Okay, they get to Kenya and Nene. Now again, Andy said, like, I wanted to have this conversation with Nene, but she left, so she isn't here to give her, her side of things. We're going to get, Kenya's side of things. So he asked Kenya, like, what's the issue, like, between you and, like, how did this beef even start between you and Nene? Kenya, no one really can remember, or no one really knows. Okay, truth be told, there was not one particular incident, in my opinion, that made them stop being friends, stop being cool, stop being cordial. Because remember, Nene's first season, when Nene was on, was it Glee or whatever show Nene was on as herself? Okay, she had a I think her name was Roxy or whatever it was, but she was in LA, and Kenya had let Nene borrow some furniture while she was in LA. That's back when they was cool. Okay, so at one point, if y'all don't remember, Nene and Kenya used to get along, and then all of a sudden they didn't. And in my opinion, I agree with what Kenya said. Kenya said, Nene is bothered by my presence. Nene got bothered by Kenya's presence once Kenya started to get popular on the show, and I feel like Nene felt threatened. Nene thought she was the bee's knees of all or whatever, and she was doing acting, and she had like that one TV show guest star on it or whatever. The other TV show she had that got canceled. At that point in time, I think Nene felt like she was above the show, and she didn't mind Kenya kind of getting popular because Nene kind of felt like she didn't need it. Once those dried up, and no one in TV land wanted Nene to be Nene. Okay, because let's get it cool. Nene was never playing anyone except herself on any of them shows. She was still the same Nene, the same reads, the same voice, the same body build, the same teeth, all of that, which is Nene. That's it. And once that was no longer needed, she didn't have nothing else besides Housewives. Okay, we know she had her 2 stores. We're not gonna take that from her. But again, Nene felt threatened by Kenya the minute Nene needed Housewives, and at that point in time, Kenya was kind of top billing because she was messy, she was petty, she was great TV, she was great for the show, as Nene has said a many times. But again, Kenya said she's bothered by me, and she is. Now she's bothered because Kenya not going away. And because Kenya feel the need to not bow down to Nene and really, accept Nene's bullshit, then Nene try to shove it down people's throat. And, she brings up how, like, I tried to be friends with her or whatever in the beginning, you know what I'm saying, because, she was great on the show. But again, Nene, only wanted me around her to be her ally, and that was it. And that's true. Nene always wants allies. And then once she falls out of line with them allies, she pushed them to the side. She did it with Cynthia. She did it with Portia. She did it with the reason Marlo and Kenya became friends was because at that point in time, Nene was pissed at Marlo and was pissed at Kenya and was paying her dust because Marlo was cool with Kenya. And again, that's when Nene pushed Marlo to the side. Okay, with Tanya, she pushed Tanya to the side. Tanya was known as everybody else's friend except Nene's, even though she came on the show as Nene's friend. Nene always Ivana. Same thing. So again, Nene, what Kenya said is true, and that does not mean that Kenya isn't messy, that Kenya isn't petty. Kenya is messy and petty to high heavens. Okay, we know that. But what she's saying about Nene is actual and factual. Okay, let's get that straight. Anyway, she's like, again, Nene wanted me as her ally and not her friend, and you know what I'm saying. So since she's bothered by my presence, and now we just not on the same, accord or whatever. Andy admits that Nene has always said that Kenya is great for the show. I've seen Nene say that myself. But Nene will say that, and then she'll say, like, well, Kenya's great for the show. Like, she's crazy, she's dumb. I'm saying she's going to do things that people won't do. Like, she's great for the show. It's a backhanded compliment. Meaning, yes, she's good for the show because she's a piece of shit. And everybody wants to see a piece of shit. I'm saying everybody wants to see a messy bitch. That's her. So, again, it's a backhanded compliment nonetheless. Anyway, Kenya's like, well, that's funny to me, and to say that she want me on the show because at first she didn't. She didn't want me here, and that's true. Cynthia admits how, at least this season, she's like, Nene came into the season open to talk to Kenya, like she really, really was, but Kenya just did not want to talk to her. She did not want to accept her apologies or nothing like that or whatever. And Andy asked Kenya, like, well, yeah, why wouldn't you accept her apologies? Why didn't you respond to her text or whatever that Nene said that she sent? Kenya said, well, I didn't respond to her text because she was blocked, so I didn't get them. So her acting as if she sent me something that I received and I just chose to ignore her, that wasn't what happened. I had her blocked, so I didn't get her messages. Honey, the block button was on point. Okay. Anyway, and she said the reason I did not accept Nene's apology was because I felt it was fake. Like, I didn't feel it was genuine. I think she was doing it just to do it because, again, she was on an apology tour. Cynthia said that Nene was trying to extend an olive branch, you know what I'm saying, to Kenya. And Kenya was like, why would I accept an olive branch that's covered in poison ivy? And I said, well, say it, won't it be? Anyway, okay, we then get on Spitgate. Okay, here goes Spitgate. Did Nene spit on Kenya? Now, Andy said, how, Kenya, you said that Nene spit on you, okay? But Nene said that she did not spit on you. So, ladies, do any of you have any insight on who was there, on what really happened? And I'm like, Andy, we saw the episode. Like, why are you asking anybody what happened? And I like how Kenya made it clear before she let anybody else answer. She like, I feel like, we saw what happened. She did act like she was on spit. I mean, she did like hawk up a loogie and did the action as she was on spit. She then said, I should spit in your face. She then lunged at me. She threw food at me. And as she's talking, we see each of these actions. So I'm like, Andy acting as if he didn't see the episode or as if we didn't see the episode. And she did attempt to spit on Kenya. Okay, so she's like, I don't get why anybody else here would need to explain what happened when we saw what happened. And again, and Kenya made it like I never said that she spit on me. what Kenya said was anybody who's willing to spit on someone is, a bad person. And the fact that Nene was saying that she wanted to do it, I get what was going on or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And, Candy brings up how, if anybody else besides Kenya, had that happened to anybody else besides Kenya, where someone attempted to spit on them, it would have been a huge issue. But because it's Kenya, no one really, was making an issue. And that no one, meaning Nene's allies, meaning Nene, Portia, Marlo, and Tanya. But I mean, my thing is, I think Nene attempting to spit on Kenya is worse than Kenya calling Tanya a cunt. That's in my opinion, okay? Because the name is a name, but you attempting to spit on me, which we all know is the ultimate sign of disrespect to me, is worse than that. But I digress. So they then asked Kenya, why she went near Nene at Candy's baby shower, with her and Nene, and it was all fussing or whatever. And Kenya brings up, I was having a conversation with Shamia. Now, all of this going on, Kenya and Portia end up kind of getting into it or whatever. Because Kenya's point was, I went over there to talk to Shamia, despite people acting as if I was going over there to fight or to provoke her or whatever. Like, I'm not an animal. I've never put my hands on anybody. I've never provoked anyone to pop me, as the ladies say. And when Annie mentioned, when you have provoked people, Kenya, don't act like you have. It's like, yeah, but I've never, tried to provoke people to fight me, whatever. I've never done that or whatever. And people have also, tried to provoke me. So again, it was good for the goose, should be good for the gander. Okay. And here comes drunk Portia. Now look, Portia was definitely the star of the reunion, but because she was basically being Nene's guard dog. Anytime anybody said or did anything about Nene, Portia was right there, and all of that. And I think it's because Portia was out, had been drinking. So she was a bit intoxicated. And my thing is, I'm not saying that she didn't give in this reunion, but my thing is, her whole thing was going at whoever was beefing with Nene and defending Nene to the high heavens. But I'm like, I don't have that kind of loyalty to a person who I know for a fact that the minute they mad at me, they're gonna, be back to being a bad person, towards me. I can't do that. I can only go to bat for someone who I feel is a true friend of mine, and they would not stab me in the back if they feel some kind of way. Nene will treat you like the shit on her shoe if she ever feels as if you didn't do something that she likes. That's not true friendship. So I could not be the way Portia was for Nene. Not for Nene, okay? Not on my watch. But anyway, let's move on. But, drunk Portia, like, whatever, Cynthia, you did this and you did that. And, you always being messy or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And she just, she's defending Nene to Kenya. And I'm like, that's fine or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, Portia, calm the fuck down. Like, to me, Portia was too hype. She was too animated. Okay, it was enjoyable. It was funny, whatever, but it was just still too much. I also like how Kenya wasn't phased. Like, Kenya did not show how aggravated. I'm pretty sure she was with it all. I like how the whole time she stayed seated. I like how she was able to stay calm. Whereas Portia, girl, was all in the camera. Girl, it was just team too much time 5. But I mean, it was so cool. Now, Portia bring up, because you was always doing stuff or whatever. You paid Walt to do this or whatever. And I have never left the show. I've been on the show. I've been on the show this whole time. I had more scenes than you. I'm like, what does any of that matter? But again, her and Kenya was going back and forth. It was team too much. I could not keep up. And Kenya even said, you sound real bitter, Portia. You sound real bitter. I'm not bitter. I'm better. I say, Portia, put that on a shirt. Portia, please put, I'm not bitter, I'm better, bitch, is what I would have said. Okay. But again, put that on a shirt or whatever, and it was kind of cool. But Kenya and Portia was going back and forth, and you seen baby Ben come in, and that kind of calmed things down. I was really cute. Then we had Yvonne. Here come Yvonne. And I feel like Yvonne's section time frame went on a tad bit too long. Okay. She basically come in. She said how Nene lawyer sent her a cease and desist. Okay. And how she's not surprised that Nene left before she came on. She said, Nene had been, she was probably, scared for the truth to come out. And so she didn't want to be able to face it. You know what I'm saying? For the last 2 weeks, I've been getting threatening phone calls and text messages from Nene and whoever else about things. And the cease and desist letter from her lawyer said to me that I needed to destroy any alleged audio that I may have that may defame Nene's character. Okay, and I'm like, what? So they like, what do you have to add? Like, cause you always saying that. What is it that you here to say or whatever? So she brings up, I have been hanging out with the ladies, off season. Okay, we've been hanging out or whatever here and there. Nene at that point in time wasn't cool with anybody, and we know that to be factual. Nene wanted to know what the ladies were saying about her, so she asked Giovanna to report back to her things that anybody said about her. Now, Portia then said, well, that don't make no sense because I said what I said, and Cynthia said what she said, so why would she want to, and I'm like, I think Portia don't realize Nene wasn't asking Giovanna to hear what y'all was saying on camera. She wanted to know if that's what they saying on camera, what are they saying in private? She wanted to know what they were saying off camera, because usually off camera is worse, okay? And I'm like, listen, that's what it was. I believe Giovanna in that part. She then said that it was Nene who asked her to record the conversations between her and the ladies, because Nene felt like Giovanna just telling her someone said something wasn't not enough. She wanted to hear the actual audio of the person saying it. And they're like, what? And I'm like, I believe it. I believe it. Do I believe Nene came up with it on her own? No. Do I believe her and Giovanna both came up with a scheme? Yes. Okay. But do I believe that Giovanna is lying now? No. Giovanna then said the reason I had not said anything sooner was because I was trying to protect Nene. I was, just so loyal to her, because at that point she was my friend. I was doing what she asked me to do, as any friend would, okay? And then, when I think it was Candy who said, well, that's fake of you, because, if you was fakely hanging out with us just to get into it, that's some bullshit. Like, y'all both some snakes. And Giovanna brought up, well, she's like, well, no, that was not what it was. When I was hanging out with you, that's not what it was. It was not until after I hung out with y'all that she asked me to do this, and I only hung out with Cynthia after Nene asked me to it. But she then said, but I told Nene that I recorded it, but I really did not record anything, okay? And that's why Nene told them there was recording, because Giovanna told her it was, but she really did not record them. And that's also why Nene kept trying to make it seem as if, well, the recording is different than audio. You know what I'm saying? And that was the whole bullshit of it all. Once Nene realized she had told them something on camera that she didn't have, she then had to kind of backtrack, and it kind of all blew up in their face. And I believe it. Giovanna not innocent. She is not at all. But I do believe Nene wants to know what they be saying. What they be saying, girl? Because why else would she say someone recorded you, on whatever? And I know Nene put out texts showing Giovanna saying, I'm going to go hang out with Cynthia on this day. I also know somebody who knows Kenya's ex. I know somebody who knows Mark or whatever, so I can get dirt on Kenya too. But again, I feel like both Giovanna and Nene were working together. Period. Because if Giovanna was doing this on her own, why would she be texting Nene telling Nene? And if Nene knew that Giovanna was taping people and meeting other people, why would she not say anything? Why was the only thing that she brought up the fact that Giovanna had recorded Cynthia? If she had text messages proving Giovanna had been trying to do stuff with all of them. And Nene trying to save face. Nene is on damage control. She is. And again, Giovanna ain't innocent. Okay, she ain't cool with nobody. Period. Like, Giovanna should not be back. But my thing is, I do feel like she was trying to be, loyal to Nene, and Nene burned her and threw up under the bus and threw away. Okay, and we then see Portia gets a call from Nene on the phone, and they why is she on the phone? Why can't she go back to her computer? If she can't be on her computer, we don't want to hear her on the phone. Talk to her later. Bye. Okay, and I'm like, yeah, they paid Nene dust. I agree. That's how it should have been, and that's basically how the thing ended. You know what I'm saying? We do see Eva apologize to Marlo for saying how she thought Snakegate, that Marlo was behind it or whatever. And you know, Marlo accepted or whatever. And I like how Marlo said, you know, I would never be that kind of person. Like, I'm not that kind of friend. Like, I'm not gonna be sneaky and record any goddamn thing. Like, you know, if I'm a friend, I'm a real friend. And I do feel like, you know, for the most part, that Marlo could be good friends with all the ladies if Nene wasn't there, you know, forcing Marlo to kind of be so loyal to her without hurting any feelings. Okay, but I digress. Anyway, again, I didn't even mean for this to be this long, but it was what it was. I love you all. Do not forget to like, to comment, to share this video, to follow me on IG and Twitter at J_Lees_Corner. And I will talk to y'all later. Until next time, people. Peace.